Greetings of the day. So in this lecture, we will learn how to handle any missing data. So let's suppose if any data or any value is not available in our data set, then how we execute the problem. Okay, how to solve if there is some any value is available in our data set, right? So now similar way we have to create our document outline. So today's topic is missing data handling, and you know how to create the document outline. So hash, then your text message, then multiple time dash or hash, right? So over here you can find our document outline is already created. The missing data handling. So which topic we have already covered. So I just minimize it. So now come back to the next line. So in our language, missing data or the data which is not available is mentioned or is identified by reserve word, that is capital letter na. Okay, so let's suppose in our data set few na value is available, but how we supposed to identify? So to identify any na value we have to use the syntax, that is dot na. Okay, so this syntax will identify if any value is available in our dataset that is missing. Okay, so try to understand with an example, right? So I just remove this part, or let's it be over here. So now I am assigning any value, that is na. So right now I store the value that is na inside a variable x. Now we have to run it. So just click on run option. Okay, then we have to use the syntax, that is.na inside a variable that is x. Now again if I click on run option, you can find my output is basically true. That means in x variable there are na value is present, that means the true value. So now you can easily understand na is logical constant, that means here true and false value are present, right? So you can write capital letter true or capital letter single T. For false, you can write down the FASC false or just capital letter F. So based on your choice. Okay. Now how we know if there is any missing value? So you already understand is.na will check in my dataset is missing value available or not. So let's suppose right now we want to create one vector 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Okay, so right now we are creating one vector with a some number. So maybe you can think this is the marks of student who are getting in an exam 10, 20, 30, and 40. Okay, so now if I click on run, so we have stored the value inside a variable that is small letter a. So we have creating one vector over here. Okay, so now we have to check inside a variable a, is there any value present? So again we have to check is.na and the variable is a. So we can use the shortcut key, that is control plus enter. So now you can find in my console part false, false, false. That means in my data set that is a, there is no na value is present. Okay, so now if I modify it, our vector as a na. Okay, so now if I click on run option, again if I check is there any na value, click on run option. Now we can find the last option is basically true. That means in my vector that is a, one na value is present, which is represented by true. Okay, again if I enter any na value over here, na comma, okay, now click on run option. Again if I check is there any na value, click on run. So now we can find this is the true value, this is the second value, and this is the last value. That means 10, definitely there is no NA value, that's why false. Second value is NA, that's why it's written as a true. Again for 20 this is false. Again for 30 this is also false. 40 this is also false. 50 this is false. False, but the last element, that is NA. So definitely in the last position another NA value is present. That's why there are true value is present. So that means we have checked in my data set some NA value is present. Okay. Now, if I want to calculate the minimum value of this vector, so if I type the predefined function mean and inside a bracket, if I mention a and run this line, so now you can find the minimum value of a is na. So definitely it's not possible. So definitely the minimum value should be 10. But right now we are getting our output, that is na. So that means if in our dataset any na value is present, so we cannot execute the right answer. So that means we have to remove the na first. How to remove the na value? To remove the na value from your data set, you have to use one syntax, that is na.rm equal to true. Okay. So now again if I want to calculate the minimum value of a, comma, then we have to write down the syntax, that is na.rm equal to true. Okay. So now if I click on the run option, now you can find the minimum value of a is basically 10. Instead of na value, we are getting the right output, that is 10. Why? Now we have already instructed our R language that na.rm equal to 3. So as we have identified there is na value is present, so we just mention that you just ignore the na value by na.rm. Okay, so that's why we are getting the minimum value of 10. Similarly, if I calculate the maximum value, maximum of a, so again if I click on run option using my shortcut key, that is control plus enter, again you can find the maximum value is basically na. So why we are getting, basically we have not instruct our R software to ignore or to remove the na value. So again if I use na.rm equal to true, so over here you can just write down the capital letter T. So both are same, capital letter TRUE as well as T, both are same. So again if I click on the run option, you can find the maximum value is 50. Okay. Now if I calculate the mean of this particular value, that is a, so again you can call the predefined function, that is mean and a. So definitely we have already checked there is na value is present, so again we have to write down the same command, that is na dot rm as well as true. Now again if I click on run option, now you can find the minimum of this value is basically 30, sorry, mean of a is 30, right? So ignoring the na value, we can calculate max, mean, variance, standard deviation. So based on our requirement, we just calculate our vector which is present by na value. So to check the na value, we have to use is.na, or to ignore or remove the na value, we have to use na.rm equal to true. Okay. So now there is some points we have to always remember. Okay, so just I again mention outline point, sorry, point to remember. Okay, what are the point we have to remember? So first we have to remember capital letter na and small letter na, both are not same. Okay, are not same. Okay, so now if I take one example, basically the previous example as well, so just I copy the same answer, that is a, and paste over here. Now if I change capital letter na as a small letter na, okay, similarly capital letter small a as a small letter na. Now if I click on run option, now you can find object small letter na not found. So now we can easily understand capital letter na and small letter na are totally different, right? As capital letter na is basically reserved word, or we can say it is a system defined value, right? So another point we have to again remember, that is na and in a quoted capital letter na. This is also different, not same. Okay, so take the same example. So if I double click on double quoted in this particular value, okay, just capital letter na, okay, and inside a double quote. Now if I click on run option, you can find there is no error message. Why? Now we have typed the na value inside a double quote. That means right now the na is already converted as a character. So that's why we are not getting any error message. Okay. So now again if I click on the minimum value, so min of a and control plus enter. So now you can find minimum of a is basically character of 10. Why? Now we have already converted na as a character, so that's why this is 10 is not as a number, it is printed as a character. Okay. Then the last point we have also remember that na and null. Na and null also different, not exactly same. So na means basically it's a placeholder for something that exists but is missing. So let's suppose this is the example. Okay, that means if this is the marks of some student are getting in a exam, so maybe for a medical reason some student is not present at that time, so that marks we have already mentioned as a na instead of 0. That means this student is exist in our class, but right now he or she is not present during the exam. Okay, this is called na. That means the value is definitely exist, but right now it is missing. Okay, but what does it mean by null? Null means basically it never exists in our data set. Okay, so this is the difference between na as well as null. So that's for today. I believe we have already understand how to ignore the NA value, how to calculate to remove the NA value from our dataset. Okay. Now, if you want to save the file, so click on File. Then you can find Save or Save As. So if you click on Save, so by default the location or the folder you have selected it will be saved. Or if you click on Save As, so based on your preference in a particular location it will be saved. So now, if you want to clear the console or the output we are getting in my console, so how to clear the console? So this is the shortcut key also available, control plus n. So if I press control plus l from my keyboard, you can find the console part will be blank. So I just press from my keyboard control plus l, so you can find the console is totally blank. So this is the way how you supposed to clear the console, and I also explained how to save the file. Okay, so that's it.